What's going on, guys? My name is Christopher and welcome to It's Complicated, the show where I talk about and showcase wristwatches. So if you love wristwatches like I do, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and then click on the little bell next to it and you'll be all set. Today I got a story for you and I have a lesson for you if you are looking to find a deal on a luxury watch. Here we go. Story time. So a few months ago, I was talking to this jeweler friend of mine, the same jeweler that sold me this Datejust 16234 for $3,000. I was in a store and we were just talking, catching up, and I noticed he had another 16234 in there for sale. Now granted, this one had a salmon dial, still had the Roman numerals, and I believe it was a U serial number, making it a 1998 or a late 1997 Rolex. I remember that watch being in the store when I purchased this 16234. It was sitting right next to it and he wanted $3,000 for it. Now, even without papers, because that watch did not come with papers, it did come with the original box. Anyways, even without papers, $3,000 is an extremely fair price for a 16234, even with that salmon dial, which I think is kind of a cool dial, although I don't know if I would rock one. And then my friend explained to me that he didn't really care when it sold. He knew that he had a very fair price on that item and he knew that it would sell eventually. I asked him if he would consider listing that watch online to get, more eyeballs on it, and he said, nope, not dealing with the internet, doesn't handle that well, doesn't like that kind of audience all the time, doesn't want all these people calling him, lowballing him, etc. He's just got it in the case in the store. Then I had an idea. I said, listen, buddy, why don't you let me take pictures of this watch? You let me list this watch online. And if I sell it for a little above what you're asking, I get to keep the commission. He agreed. He said, fine, go ahead. If you can sell it for more than I'm asking for it, you can keep a chunk of the change. I said, cool. So I put the thing on Craigslist. I certainly tried to put it on Facebook Marketplace, but that's extremely difficult to put a Rolex on Facebook Marketplace. They just strike it as it's fake and tell you that you're not allowed to sell it. You got to show your ID. There's a lot of other things that somebody was telling me you have to do, and they'll let you sell more luxury items like that. But anyways, I put the watch on Craigslist. I think I had it for sale for $3,800. So I put it on Craigslist for $3,800, and of course, right away, I got some of the nibblers and some of the lowballers. I had a company in Florida call me. They wanted to buy the watch off of me, but then hold on to it and hold on to the money. And then when they sold it and the customer was happy with it, then they would release the money to me. And I said, no way, I am not doing that. And then I just totally forgot about the thing because I'm not in this big hurry to make this little extra bit of money, So I just forgot about it and the listing expired. A few weeks later, after remembering about the watch, I relisted the watch on Craigslist. And again, nibblers, lowballers, but this time I got a guy who was actually interested, and he was very interested in this watch. So he asked me where we could be on the price. I talked to him about it, and he wanted to think about it a little bit. A few days later, he texted me back, and he was ready to come buy the watch. He said, where should we meet? And I told him we will meet at the jeweler's. That way he knows he is getting an authentic Rolex. So he met me at the jeweler's and he got the watch size, checked it out, thought about it a little while, and of course he did end up buying the watch. Really nice guy, actually, originally from LA and moved here on business somewhat recently, and this was his first Rolex. And as a quick side note, how amazing is that so many people are so excited to get their first Rolex? I remember when I got my first Rolex, that two-tone Datejust I used to have, it was a monumental moment in my life. It was like, boom, I own a Rolex. It's just an amazing thing to say, and it's amazing that Rolex is so good with their brand. I just wanted to mention that. So what is the point of all this rambling and storytelling I am doing? Well, my point is if this fella would have just got up, drove around, and checked out different local jewelers, he would have found this watch and he would have paid a few $100s less than he paid for it. And that guy got a very fair price on that Datejust. He just could have gotten a little bit of a better price if he would have looked somewhere other than the internet. And that goes for all you guys out there watching too. This watch I'm wearing sells for well over $1,000 more than I paid for it without papers, and I got a full set with this piece. I didn't find this watch by looking online. I found this watch by driving around, talking to different jewelers, seeing different pawn shops, etc. And that's really the whole point of this whole story. If you want a killer deal on a luxury watch, go out and look for one. At least pick up the phone and call either private jewelers or pawn shops, etc. You never know what you're going to find unless you get out there and look. People on the internet always want top dollar for those Rolex watches because the Rolex market right now is incredibly insane. Just look at that Explorer 2 I just purchased online. That guy wanted top dollar for that Explorer 2 and it was beat up. It wasn't worth what I paid for it. That's why I sent it back. But I bet you in person he would take $5,000 cash. So do yourself a favor. If you're interested in buying a new luxury watch, why don't you look at some places that are not online or do not list their products online, and you might find yourself an amazing deal. And that wraps up another episode of It's Complicated. Don't forget to subscribe to the show, like this video, share it with all your friends, and I'll see you next time on another episode of It's Complicated.